Hi there. What I'm going to walk you through in this video is a process that we're going to go through together. And I want you to apply this process in real time here. So have a pen and paper ready for yourself. Make sure you're comfortable, maybe a glass of water, and be sure to not be disturbed over the next 10 minutes or so. Okay. You ready? Cool. So I want to ask you a question. Yeah. Who are you? Just noticing what comes up in mind as you play that question back to yourself. Maybe even what's coming up in the body, in the feeling in the body, maybe comfort or discomfort. What are the answers that you notice pop up for you in mind? Who are you? Now, you might be sitting there with a very well formulated idea of who you are that you could potentially express and maybe even write down word for word. Or you might be sitting there going, "Whoa, that's a big question. I haven't asked myself that, or I haven't asked myself that in some time." And so it's okay if it feels a little bit uncomfortable, or you might be feeling like, hey, I'm pretty solid as to who I am here. Yeah, so both of those are okay, and we can continue on in the process here. And so my next question is, are you your name? What's your name? John, Jess, Matt? What is it? And are you your name? Are you John? Are you Jess? Are you insert your name? And if you say, yes, I am Dan, well then cool. If you can just write down your name on a piece of paper. Yeah, include your surname as well. And just hold that piece of paper up towards the camera. That's it. Hello, how are you going? Good to see you. Nice to meet you and everything that you are. A few letters that form a name on a piece of paper in the form of ink. Now, this may have been already obvious to you or not so obvious to you, and both are completely okay. The name is just a label. You are not that name. You are not Dan. You are not John. You are not insert your name. How do we know this to be true? Yeah. Okay. Well, in the first 3 months of your life, let's pretend that your parents were super, super lazy and they thought, maybe they were just hyper intentional, and they thought to themselves, you know what, let's just take our time giving this little bubba a name. And they took 3 to 6 months to give you a name. Were you prior to them giving you your name? Well, of course. You receiving that name did not make you any more whole. Yeah. Cool. So you're not your name. You are not John, Jess, insert your name. Just notice still, it'll be super normal if that feels a bit funny. Don't tell me I'm not me. Yeah. Cool. So you're not the name. Now, are you the things you do in life? Yeah. Are you A business owner. That's an interesting one. Are you a mother, a father? Yeah. Are you a passionate person? Are you the things you do? Are you a teacher? And if you say no, you're not, why not? Why not? The things that you do are simply roles that you play, particularly the ones that we've just mentioned. We play many different roles depending on the context in our life. Notice that. We play the role of a father, of a mother, even though we could argue that biologically, I'm a father, regardless. True. But then all of the behaviors associated with that are you stepping into the role of father, mother, and taking responsibility. Yeah. Were you always a father? Were you always a father? Were you always a mother? No. Were you always you? Yes. So therefore, it couldn't be who you are. They are roles that you are responsible for as a business owner, a mother, a father, a brother, a sister, a teacher. You carry a responsibility there, but they are not who you are. Notice if there's been any attachments to that with love and compassion. Okay. So, are you this body here? Are you this body? Surely, this body's here. It's the only thing that's really real, right? If you answer no, why not? This body, even scientifically speaking, has come and gone many, many times in your life. What the hell are you talking about, Dan? Every 7 to 8 years, give or take, every single cell in this body replenishes every 7 to 8 years. It means that this body has literally come and gone 4 times, 5 times, 6 times in your lifetime so far. Yet something remained as it was coming and going. Yeah. So therefore, you couldn't possibly be this body. Because you were there the whole time, even though a version of this body no longer exists here right now that once was. You're still here and you were back then. So you are not this body yet. It is a beautiful sacred vessel in this lifetime as a human that your consciousness has the opportunity to run through. So you're not your name. You're not your roles. You're not this body. Are you your behaviors? Positive behaviors and negative behaviors. Positive and negative. The behaviors that we deem to be positive deem to be negative, are we those? Just notice what you tend to maybe hold on to as, yeah, I'm the type of person that does this, this, and this. Yeah. There can be an identity with seemingly positive behaviors. And also we carry an identity that we try and shy away from seemingly negative behaviors. Are you those? If you say no, why not? And if you say yes, you're a person of your actions. Yeah. How can that possibly be true? If every behavior has shifted and changed, even the ones you might categorize as to, oh yeah, this is the same behavior, but even that's shifted and changed in its flavor and coloring and its style and how you go about it. It's all shifted and changed, yet you've remained. Were you doing those behaviors when you were 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, 8 years old, in exactly the same way? So you're not your name. You are not the roles that you do. You are not this body. And any behaviors that you've done, even ones that you might experience shame, guilt, or fear towards, you are not those. It is not your fault that conditioned ways of being, deeply conditioned ways of being, are there and present. It is not your fault. That has been handed to you. But your behaviors are 100% your responsibility. And any conditioning that's been handed down is 100% your responsibility. No one else's. And that is the hard truth of it. We can point fingers all day long. However, the fingers that we're pointing are pointing at those that also had conditioning come down onto them. They were just unable to see with clear enough eyes that, hey, here lies the power to draw the line in the sand and take responsibility for making the shift and the change in those behaviors, whilst knowing that it is not our fault that we have this conditioning. So you are not your behaviors, no matter how bad or good something gets done. You are not those behaviors. Not your name, not your body, not the roles that you do, not your behaviors. Are you your emotions? And you don't want to let go of that one. And you feel its emotions. Of course it is who I am. Are you answering with yes? Or do you feel that you're not your emotions? And if not, why not? Well, they come and go. They move, they change, but something remains. Yeah. Emotions are energy in motion running through the body that we then place a label over the top of, such as anger, frustration, annoyance. We are not those emotions, and identifying as that has us actually move away from being able to genuinely be in the presence of any emotion, any energy running through the body, and therefore allowing it to process and run its due course in a healthy way. If you believe yourself to be those emotions, you'll experience them as though you are in the middle of a storm, versus sitting back here, not disassociated from those emotions, but just disidentifying from them and seeing them exactly for what they are, as energy running through the body, giving you the opportunity and possibility and capacity to be fully present to those and allow them to process in a more healthy way. For some of those emotions, potentially for the first time in your life. Might be easy with some and not so easy with others. Emotions come and go. You remain. You are not your emotions. And just have a think about when someone says and expresses their emotion using language in a very particular way that we're often unconscious to, saying, I am angry, I am annoyed. Well, hello, angry. Nice to meet you. It's exactly the same phrasing that we use when we introduce ourselves to someone. Hello, I am Dan. Hello, I am angry. Nice to meet you, angry. Versus, I'm noticing there being this energy running through the body, which I could label as anger. There's simply what seems more true and accurate to say is that there's an energy running through this body right now. It's pretty strong, centered around the heart, maybe around the throat, wherever it may be for you. You are not your emotions, nor are you your name, the roles that you play, or your behaviors, or this physical body. Oh, it's getting scary. What are we if we're not any of those? It's okay. Continuing on through this process of love and compassion, and allowing and giving permission for patience as well. And so, are you your thoughts? You might be saying to yourself at this point, Dan, I know the answer to this. It's the same answer to everything. No, I'm not my thoughts. Why not? Well, because they come and go. Transient, just like this body, just like emotions, just like roles. Noticing where you identify as your thoughts. Maybe you have a preference as to which thoughts you want to identify as, and which thoughts you have a pretty clear judgment as to you not being those thoughts, and possibly be me. When it's convenient, we identify as, and when it's not, we disidentify. Yeah. There's a purity of thought that runs through. We could call it another energy. It comes through, but any metastating upon that, the thought about the thought and the thought about the thought about the thought, is simply layering noise on top of that. No? You are not your thoughts. What are you then? If we started this exploration with who are you? Who have you taken yourself to be? Who have you been told to be? Versus what are you if you aren't any of those ideas, concepts? What arises for you? What are you? Being gentle with yourself. Feels uncomfortable inquiring into this, or you might be quite grounded in this. Nothingness, spaciousness, presence, pure awareness. You are the most stable thing in this entire cosmos, the most stable thing. How do we know that to be true? You have been present to every single thing that has come and gone in this lifetime. The roles that you've played, the state of relationships, even with people that have been there since day dot, mum, dad, have changed, have come and gone. The state of the relationships. Your behaviors have changed. The thoughts have changed, shifted. This body has come and gone. Emotions have come and gone. You have been present to it all. An immense capacity for presence that did not require any form of meditation practice, because it is what you are. Purity of awareness as presence, not doing things in life with presence. You already are as presence, as awareness, to it all, and on some level as it all. Without confusing things, we won't bring that piece in for another exploration. So sitting with that inquiry and just noticing what arises in your life and where you might be strongly identifying as any of these pieces and elements that we've explored here today. Write them down so that it's front of mind. And when you notice a strong energy coming about or a ruminating mind, just ask yourself the question, pause, take half a step back, and be like, am I the one watching this, observing this, seeing this? And if so, I couldn't possibly be this. If I was, who's the one watching? And gently, gently start to peel away from that which we've been so closely identified with. It may already be happening with a whole bunch of things in your life where you've got some healthy space around those and awareness of what they are and you not being them. And then there might be some other things that we're so closely tied to. And when those things get nudged, prodded, poked, seemingly, by life, just the general happenings of life in the world, that's when triggers come about. Just noticing those. Are you the trigger? We can go on and on. See if you can gently continue to ask, am I that? Am I that? Not this, not that. Netty, netty, not this, not that. Rather than who am I as an identity, an idea, who / moving into what am I? Enjoy the practice. Journal your findings as you apply this to yourself. And any queries and questions around it, bring it into the group calls. Guaranteeing you that there will be another handful of people that had exactly the same question. Thank you for watching.